I'm going to share with you some tips about how to choose a bottle of wine as a gift. The first thing to think about, tip number one, is who is the person? What do you know about that person? Might be a member of your family, might be your boss, may even be someone that you don't know very well. But try to match the wine to the person. Is it a young, zany person who's interested in art, for example? Go for something very contemporary, very accessible looking, not at all scary, still a delicious bottle of wine, but very modern in its approach. Or does a person that you know love going to Italy or France on holiday, maybe get them a bottle of wine from their favourite regions that they'd like to visit? Or do they love cooking, amazing food from Italy? Then pick an Italian wine to go with some Italian foods. Try in some way to personalise the gift and then tell them why you've chosen that bottle of wine, because that can really bring the bottle of wine alive for them and make it more special, that you've actually gone to the effort to put some thought into the choice of the wine. If it's a celebration, occasion is the next tip. So is it some kind of celebration or is it a thank you? But obviously celebration always calls for bubbles. So whether it's a champagne, a prosecco or a cava, then bubbles is a great option. And to be honest, the budget is the next thing to think about, because with champagne, obviously that's quite expensive, but you can get really good value sparkling wine that's very affordable. So your own budget's important. And I wouldn't be stressed to think that you have to spend lots of money on a bottle of wine. The most important thing is to make sure that the wine is appropriate and that the wine is interesting and that the person's going to enjoy the wine. They're not going to focus on price, they're going to focus on the story of why you've chosen that bottle of wine, which is much more important than how much you've spent. Having said that, if your occasion is for maybe an anniversary or you want to give someone a bottle of wine to keep in the longer term, then a classic can never go wrong, such as a Bordeaux or a really good Burgundy is a good option for someone. Give them a special bottle and they can keep that for a good few years and then think back and enjoy the moment, if you like, of when they were given that bottle. The other thing to think about is season. And often you will find that at Christmas time, wine comes in boxes, not all the time, but champagne particularly and fortified wine can come in boxes, and it quite often doesn't come all year round in boxes. So if you know that you've got a gifting situation coming up in 3 or 4 months' time, buy it when it's in the box and tuck it away, because you won't necessarily get it in the box when you need it, and it's a good thing to think about going forward. And then the final thing is to ask for help. Don't be embarrassed to ask for help. You can certainly go online and read reviews of wines. Typically there'll be newspaper articles every week with recommendations on wines, but go into your local O'Brien's and ask the guys in the store for help. They taste wine a lot, they're learning about wine every week, and they love talking about wine. They love recommending wines. So that would be my top tip, is don't be afraid to ask for help. So just to recap, top tips: know the person and try to match the wine with the person. Think about the occasion, think about your budget, don't be afraid to ask for help, and consider the season and the style depending on the weather or what the weather will be when you're giving your gift.